Hello hunters and welcome to the first in a series of videos looking at the state of our beloved Hunt Showdown in 2023. Today we're going through the latest 1.12 update and most of the changes coming with it. The new tutorial and the quest lines will be covered in separate videos in the upcoming weeks. First of all, the reload bug is gone. Well, at least it should be. Thank you very much, it has been too long. One of the biggest changes in last week's update was the adjustments to the left side peek. Prior to this, taking peeks on your left side meant you could see enemy hunters before they could see you, since your character model was still well hidden behind cover. Even though the developers stated that their fix for this isn't perfect, it is definitely an important change to balance encounters, and something the entire community wanted to be changed for months and years now. Another change most hunters have asked for is the new combat log upon being downed. Instead of just showing damage dealt to yourself, you now also get to see how much damage you dealt to other players and AI within the last 90 seconds prior to death, including enemy hunters' names and the visualization of which body parts you hit. I really like this change since it gives you a clearer look into situations you felt you should have killed or at least traded with your opponent. I do hope though that this is only the start of a couple of new changes to the combat log and after game reports to help us understand what exactly happened to us and our enemies in any given round. From more kill view options to an interactive map that shows every team's movement during a match, there are plenty of options to even further enhance this system. Coming back to in-game changes, solo players got yet another strong buff. The rework of 3 perks, including the comeback of self-revive, mark another step in making solo hunting more attractive. The most anticipated change was the rework to Necromancer, now letting you revive your dead hunter when playing solo. Even though I rarely play solo bounty hunt, I totally endorse this change to balance out Hunt's main game mode. I would have preferred for the self-revive to be its own perk, to make you choose whether or not any given hunter in your roster will be used in solo or team matches. Other than that, it's a strong and very important change. Another great buff is the dark side boost to Magpie. A fun and cheap trait before, solo players now get double the dark side from picking up a bounty and from looting dead hunters. Instead of 5, you now get 10 seconds of dark side and replenish 2 instead of 1 second every time you loot. This balances out the fact that duos and trios can always pick up 2 bounties and have 10 seconds of shared dark side. The last and least impressive change, at least compared to the 2 prior ones, is the increase of the range in which you can use Serpent. Instead of the regular 25 meters, solo hunters can now use the trait to collect clues and bounties or banish the boss from up to 50 meters. Overall, I think these are well needed changes while solo players still need to either grind upgrade points or pay hunt dollars to get hunters with these traits. Meanwhile, we also saw a comeback of different bounty hunt contracts. After a long time with solely random contracts, players can now choose a wildcard contract to be sent to a map with a certain daytime. In this update, you can now either choose the wildcard contract to be sent into night maps, specifically, or select the standard contract to have a random chance to be sent into one of the other weather and daytime options. I am unsure whether it is a viable option to just single out one condition on its own though. The imbalance of popularity in those conditions will certainly lead into some wildcards being completely ignored and others being overcrowded. Think about a fog or a day wildcard. Who would want to load into fog? And how many teams would choose not to have a guaranteed daytime map? My idea would be to randomly split the conditions into 2 groups and then let the players choose between those 2 wildcards. This way we still have a slight saying in what weather conditions we could be sent into, but there's also still a chance we get a map we don't like playing on. We'll come back to talking about wildcards in the upcoming video about events though. Besides all these changes and tweaks, the update also offers 4 new weapons, all of which can be unlocked in 2 new separate quest lines. At the moment of this recording, we're about a week into the first questline, which includes the new medium slot Windfiend Centennial. The so-called Shorty comes as a standard and a silencer version. Though being relatively expensive compared to alternative 2-slot weapons, I'm almost certain the Shorty will become the new meta rifle for medium slot or quartermaster loadouts. I had the chance to play both variants on test and live servers, and so far I'm very content with how the gun feels and works. I'm still a big fan of the Nagant Precision with high velocity ammo, but the Shorty is a strong and viable alternative. The second set of variants coming into the game with the next questline in a bit under a month are the 2 new versions of the Springfield Crag. The newest addition to the long ammo family will get a bayonet and a sniper variant next month. I'm not a big fan of snipers, but I can see the scoped crack being a viable option thanks to its 2-tap potential. The bayonet variant is nothing extraordinary. I do prefer riposte rifles, but nothing wrong with this edition. Coming back to UI changes, the last big topic in this update is the slight overhaul of the menu. The biggest rework is the weapons and tools selection in the roster section. Instead of having a separate space for each skin, each weapon variant now is a compact collection of all skins you own. This also means instead of needing to buy the gun with your favorite skin while you have another version of it lying around, all skins are now in a shared pool, giving you the option of freely choosing between them. As a user of charms, I cannot help but mention my disappointment of not being able to attach a specific charm to a specific skin, but instead attach it to the whole variant. Other than that, this is an amazing quality of life improvement. We definitely need more of those. Besides that, more information like sway, recoil, spread and cycle time were added to the weapon statistics, giving more insight into rifles, guns, tools and consumables. To round out the update, here are some of the smaller changes. Weeping Stone Mill got a new entrance to the boss lair. Very good addition in my opinion, can't wait to see it in action. I think this is very well done. A couple of weapons and pistol pairs were added to the quick play pool. Your hunter can now spawn with a hunting bow, sparks pistols or a Winnie Vandal for example. Last but not least, challenges and questline missions now have shared team progression for any action, whether PvP or PvE. I gotta say, finally, thank you Crytek for that one. Overall, I have to say this is an exciting new update with a bunch of great changes and an interesting outlook for the future. In the next video, we will go through the tutorial and my thoughts on it. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, until next time.